down below in the lower level. So that's acreage that's not really part of a conventional buildable site, but it is part of the 70 acres, 72 acres.
And not that it's probably for today, we can get into it later, but there's no shooting range here.
Correct.
So we have law enforcement in 240 plus probably another 80 that have to qualify continuously. I see a problem with not having the ability to do that on site. We do that in Strongsville. We spent the money to do it in Strongsville and put that next to literally a condominium complex, so sound isn't a problem. I'm wondering, the debate between us for the administration, the cost of sending out 240 to 300 law enforcement officers to qualify on duty, because they qualify on duty, so that's away from their job, going somewhere else. The closest, I believe, is Tri-C. So you're looking at a half a day to take these guys to go qualify out there and then come back. I don't see the rationale for not having a firing range on site, specifically that we have a building available that really only needs to be updated. And I know it's an expensive proposition, but I think the offset of cost and savings is in the favorable side of having a firing range on site. Not to mention, we pay Tri-C for our guys to go out there. Wouldn't it be nice if other communities paid to use our firing range? Because we're surrounded by many, many communities that are up against it the same way. So as far as a regional offer to help out our local communities, I think that would be a wise thing to do, but I'll get the numbers on that to justify my concerns. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I agree with the shooting range. Where was the Garfield Heights operations going to go? The police department, and where was that going to be happening?
When we were looking at that, it was approximately where 1 and 2 are located on the diagram towards the bottom, really near the front of the facility. So yeah, we took a look at how they might integrate. One of the things that would make sense, and so that footprint was larger. If that had been the case, it would have been a larger building. There were some opportunities, we felt, for some shared resources, again, with them, Sheriff's Department potentially. So that's why that area of the building would have been where we were looking at.
Where 1 and 2 are?
Yeah.
And that would be for a court and police department?
Well, they would fit approximately there, but that footprint would be larger than you see.
And do
here
you have
today.
drawings that included that aren't in front of us today? Did you actually?
We had a couple of tests. Yeah.
Can I
yes.
see, can you provide that to our council, what you actually designed to include those facilities? And are those off the table now if this particular rendition is accepted?
At this point in time, that is not part of any plan going forward. And it wasn't, quote, designed, but there was a layout of where it could go, and we can share with you. I mean, there's been a ton of different concepts and things, so there would be a concept drawing of how that might be.
Yeah.
And we can share that with you.
Sure. And what about other tenants that might be coming into this property? Is that contemplated?
Currently not in the building. Other tenants, though, for the site, I'm not aware of any that have been identified yet that could be there.
Have you been asked to look at an expansion of this jail or facility at some later date and where that expansion would take place?
Yes, we definitely have. So if you look at the jail core that runs up there in the top number 4, we would go another unit higher north on the plan to expand
You would
those
go
beds.
higher?
No, well, higher on the plan.
Higher north.
Higher on the plan, higher north, not higher,
Okay.
not higher in the air.
Okay.
I want to come back, and also Councilman Simon, you'll recall that going back to the original steering committee recommendations, even when it was 1,600, it was expandable to 2,400. There's still a plan for accommodating expansion to 2,400. So when the plan was looked at and was developed, we have always said to the design team, you have to accommodate possible expansion to 2,400 rated capacity. So that's still built into the plan.
Well, and Jeff, let me add too, the core services like kitchen, laundry, Sallyport, they are already sized for that larger facility. They're not way bigger, but you shouldn't need to add to those if you just add beds.
And that goes back to the original program. The only thing that happened is it was originally 1,600 was the goal, but size it with the core facilities to 24, with expansion to 24. It's still core facilities capable of 2,400, expansion capability to 2,400, but the initial housing unit build out is now 1,904. So that's how that's evolved.
Okay, and this is a question, I guess, for Mr. Applebaum about the glass that's going to be incorporated into the structure, these structures. Would any of the levels that we anticipate going up to 4 or 3, or you anticipate, be a place where birds might be striking?
I will make the commitment, Councilman Simon, to find out everything about that. Now
Okay.
that I am an expert.
You're an expert.
And I will report back to you.
Okay, please, because we'll have to look at bird-safe glass if that's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I also, in the one meeting I attended, made sure that the dogs would have outdoor access, quiet outdoor
I
access.
see that, thank you.
They're going to work on that. for
Number
us.
15.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, and I will not wear my tie next time.
That went very well, I think. As you can see, we've only scratched the surface. There's a lot more to delve into. We'll do that in the near future. And again, if you could provide us with the materials we requested, that would be helpful. And Jeff, if you have any recommendations on a go-forward timeline as far as our meetings, that would be helpful. I don't want to tie you or this team up unnecessarily, but a couple hours out of their day every other week or every month wouldn't hurt. I know we are definitely in a position where time is money, and we have to come to conclusions with the administration as to where we're at, where we're going, so we can unleash the design team to do what they do and to finally get into the 2025 to get that bottom line dollar amount fixed so we can move forward. So we're going to move as quickly and as judiciously as we can. Again, I thank everybody for being here, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Mr. Chair, one more thing. I want to make sure that the court, prosecutor are both involved in all these discussions. I'm not sure that's happening when these meetings are taking place.
I had a discussion with the prosecutor and the chief judge today. They will be in contact with the administration as far as their concerns. To date, I invited them here today. It was a little too much for them to be here. They will, if not have somebody here, they will be here going forward, I would hope, and incorporating what they need and what they see in this jail is important before we do go forward. So everybody involved, and as far as I could see, I invited everybody that has a stake in this. So everybody knows they can watch this, or if they're not here, they're watching it hopefully, or they can go back and rewatch it at their leisure. But it's important that we do everything in the view of the public. And,
I agree.
And that was their concern. I'll let them deal with the
Well,
administration on
I'm going
that.
to ask the administration to make sure that you're attending meetings now with the architect,
yes.
and that those meetings be open, and there's invites to the prosecutor and to the chief
Right.
judge.
We will have somebody in the room on a go-forward basis. It's important. There's a lot more that's going to come up, and hopefully our colleagues can attend and have their input, because anything that we change at this point in time costs. If it's not actual dollars, it's time, and time is dollars. So we really, unfortunately, have to make decisions pretty quickly and to let these people do the job that we hired them to do. So thanks for being here. thanks to the administration, thanks to our guests and our team, and I look forward to